Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about politics in the state of Tamil Nadu. You may wonder, how is it important? Is it important? It is related to politics. In a way, it is not that important, but then you may wonder again, why have you brought this editorial? I have brought this editorial because there are a lot of words which are very important from the exam point of view. That way, it is an important editorial. Let us start the session with editorial vocabulary. The first word, mount. Mount has many meanings, but based on the editorial context, part of speech, a verb, mount means organize and initiate a campaign or other course of action. Usually, we say mount pressure on someone or on something, means organize and initiate a campaign or other course of action. Dump goes with everyday English. I'm sure you guys know. Part of speech, a verb. To drop, fall, or let fall heavily or in a mass. Generally, dump something or dump someone. Dumping yard. Dump means to drop, to get rid of something or get rid of someone. Yes, from today, it is going to be at 8 a.m. every morning. Please make a note of the change. It is not going to be at 7, it is going to be in the morning at 8 a.m. And one of the reasons, season has changed and a lot of people prefer, I'm sure about that, 8 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock. The next one, charioteer. This goes with chariot. Olden days, the kings they would use chariots. Now they are being used by gods, goddesses, idols at the time of festivals. A person who drives a charioteer. But here, in this context, it means a person who drives a party, who leads a party. Fledgling goes with a person, a company, an organization. Usually, it goes with a company, person, or organization. Though person, you see, it usually goes with a company, fledgling organization that is immature, inexperienced, or underdeveloped. You can also add the word new in the market, part of speech adjective. Prudent, from that you get the adverb prudently. Wise, what does it mean? In a way that shows care and thought, more than care, thought for the future. A wise being wise, thinking of future. Dismantle, this usually goes with a structure. It may also go with a party. Take to pieces, a machine or structure. Generally, structure, here in this context, the party. Fortify, part of speech verb. Provide a place with defensive works as protection against attack. Make something very strong, you can say. Steadfast, adjective. Steadfastly, adverb. In a resolutely or dutifully firm and unwavering manner. Very firm, unwavering manner. Unwavering means without change, firm. Seed, from that you get seeding, part of speech verb. Give up, usually it goes with the power or territory. In this context, power. Deliberate, adjective, deliberately, adverb. Consciously and intentionally or on purpose. You do something intentionally, then we use the word deliberately. Overt, covert. Overt, opposite of covert. Here it is an adverb. The writer has used a lot of adverbs without concealment or secrecy, openly. Overt means open. Cordial, from that you get cordiality, in a warm and friendly way. Cordial relationships, a typical expression. Quest, you have got many a time, a long or arduous search for something. Long and arduous means involving hard work. Alienated, we have got once or twice, part of speech adjective. Experiencing or inducing feelings of isolation or estrangement. Someone gets isolated or separated. from the mainstream or from a particular organization, then we use the word alienated. Acclimatize, verb acclimatized, become accustomed to a new climate or new conditions. Simply you can remember the word adjust, to get adjusted to get used to. Herd is a noun. Herd can also be a verb. Here it is a verb. Usually it goes with animals. In this context, party workers or party, those who belong to a particular party, keep or look after livestock. As I said, usually it goes with animals, but in the context of the editorial, directed by, led by, herded by means led by someone. Futile efforts, we have got the word many a time. Futile means incapable of producing any useful result, or pointless. Futile effort means what? You are not going to get the result. Pointless effort. Part of speech adjective. Status quo, this goes with polity, an important foreign expression. The existing state of affairs, especially regarding social or political issues. In this context, political issues, it goes with politics. Reprimand, we have got many a time, part of speech verb, a formal expression of disapproval. You can also think of words like chide, scold, reprimand, admonish, rebuke. They all mean the same. Yes, that is right, Prasads. Every morning, 8 a.m. Coronation, part of speech noun. Usually this goes with kings, queens, prince, the princes also. The ceremony of crowning a sovereign or a sovereign's consort. It goes with a person becoming officially a king. Then we use the word coronation, olden times, but now it goes with party president, party head. Nullify is a legal term. Make legal in null and void. Null and void, idiomatic expression, an important one. It means what? Invalidate. Make something invalid. Then we use the word nullify, an important word. Surmount, part of speech verb, overcome a difficulty or obstacle. This is also an important word. Incumbent, we have got many a time. Part of speech, it could be noun, it could be adjective. Incumbent, CM, of an official or regime currently holding office. Incumbent prime minister, incumbent chief minister. Credentials, someone's credentials. Part of speech noun, a qualification, achievement, quality, or aspect of a person's background, especially when used to indicate their suitability for something. Those are the words from today's editorial. Some of those words are very important. Now let us go to the editorial. How does it start? Twin trouble. I don't know how many of you are aware of Tamil Nadu politics, but if you take this AIADMK party, they were, not they are, there were two leaders. One, Selvam, the other one, I think, Palaniswamy. So based on the twin trouble in the sense two problems, and here two party leaders obviously usually doesn't work out. But what is the main idea of this editorial? The AIADMK needs to get its house in order. This is an important expression. Get your house in order means set things right, make everything perfect, and make sure there are no problems. The AIADMK needs to get its house in order to mount any challenge to the DMK. In Tamil Nadu state, there are two major parties for quite some time, decades rather. One is DMK, right now it is in power. The other one, AIADMK. And this talks about, obviously, they have to face, AIADMK has to face the DMK party. And based on that, to face or to challenge the DMK party, yes, the AIADMK needs to get its house in order. They have to sort out their problems. One of the problems, two leaders, they have to sort out the problems and make sure everything is in place. To mount any challenge, there's one word over here, mount. Organize and initiate a campaign or other course of action mount any challenge to the DMK party, which is in power right now, led by Stalin. That is true. Marching towards it, now what is the backdrop information? Marching towards its golden jubilee, the AIADMK has dumped its 5 year experiment with dual leadership and expelled O. Paneerselvam, one of its charioteers. There are two words over here. One is dump. The word dump goes with everyday English, to drop, fall, or let fall heavily or in a mass. But simply remember, dump someone means drop someone, leave someone, dump something, dumping yard. You throw things over there. Marching towards its golden jubilee, the AIADMK has dumped its 5 year experiment with dual leadership. For 5 years, they had two leaders, one Paneerselvam, the other one Mr. Palaniswamy. It dumped its 5 year experiment with dual leadership. And how could it do that? And expelled O. Paneerselvam, one of its charioteers. Two leaders, and one of the leaders got expelled. And who is that leader? Dump yard, that's what I said. O. Paneerselvam. Edapadi K. Palaniswamy, a former accidental chief minister with a strong political survival instinct, will now steer the party as its interim general secretary. I should have brought these in red, but we have got many a time. And some of the words which are quite familiar, I don't want to bring every time. Instinct means something that tells you inside there's a feeling something is going to happen, something is not going to happen. And instinct, we use the word instinct, and usually it goes with survival, the gut feeling or the feeling inside. Will now steer the party. Steer means direct the party as its interim general secretary for the time being. We have got this word many a time. So, what does it talk about? One of the leaders got expelled, O. Paneerselvam, and who is the other one? Palaniswamy, a former accidental chief minister with a strong political survival instinct, will now steer the party. He will lead the party as its interim general secretary. When did it all start? Now, editorial provides the background information. In 2017, when a three-way split threatened his fledgling government, he prudently, here he means not Paneerselvam, Palaniswamy, Mr. Palaniswamy. In 2017, when a three-way split threatened his fledgling means what? A person or organization that is immature, inexperienced, or underdeveloped. You can also think of the word new, newly formed. In 2017, when a three-way split threatened his fledgling government, he prudently accepted. Prudent, again, I'm sure you guys know an important word, being wise in a way that shows care and thought for the future. More than care, thought, thinking, being wise. He prudently accepted a BJP facilitated. Facilitate is different, felicitate is different. You should not get confused. And facilitate, make something happen. He prudently accepted a BJP facilitated arrangement in which he and Mr. Paneerselvam would share equal organizational powers, party powers. So there would be two leaders. This idea was facilitated by BJP, and he agreed prudently, wisely. But there were problems. Sensing such shared leadership, usually a party has only one leader. But imagine there are two leaders, obviously it results in a lot of problems because they have to share the leadership powers or leadership responsibilities. Sensing such shared leadership requiring disproportionate compromises. When there are two leaders, obviously, greenhorn, very good. When there are two leaders, obviously they have to compromise on certain things. And if the compromises are balanced, proportionate, it is acceptable. But disproportionate, obviously not acceptable. Sensing such shared leadership requiring disproportionate compromises had outlived its purpose, Mr. Palaniswamy plotted its dismantling. He sensed it would not work, two party leaders at the top, and sensing that, he dismantled, plotted its dismantling, the system of two leaders. He sensed some sort of danger, or it must have thought it wouldn't work. Based on that, Mr. Palaniswamy plotted its dismantling. How did he do that? Having earned the trust of legislators during his regime, you may ask, sir, why haven't you brought it in red? We have got so many times, so you should be able to tell the meaning. Regime means what? The government, usually authoritative, need not be the government, the present government. Having earned the trust of legislators during his regime, when he was a CM, through a decentralization of resources, he adopted the same strategy to fortify his party base. So, how did he dismantle? He Usually a leader has to win the trust of the legislators, then the party workers. Having earned the trust of legislators, how did he win? During his regime, through a decentralization of resources, decentralization, spreading out or distributing. He adopted the same strategy to fortify his party base. Fortify, another important word. Provide a place with defensive works as protection against attack. You can also say fortify means make something very strong. In this context, is party base. How did he do that? Besides that, steadfastly opposing attempts by, I think, three factors. One, he won the support of the legislators. Second, steadfast adjective, steadfastly adverb, in a resolutely or dutifully firm and unwavering manner. Steadfastly opposing attempts by Jayalalitha's friend V.K. Sashikala to regain control of the AIADMK, maintaining social distance with the ruling DMK, and not ceding much ground to the BJP during seat sharing negotiations worked to his advantage. Today, he has become the party president, single leader. How could he achieve that? He plotted dismantling of dual leadership. And how did he do that? Initially, he won the support of the legislators by using decentralization of resources. Besides, three things he focused on. He opposed attempts by Jayalalitha's friend V.K. Sashikala to regain control of the AIDMK. Then, maintaining social distance with the ruling DMK. Third, not ceding. There's one important word, cede, verb. Give up power or territory. In this context, seat sharing power. Not ceding much ground to the BJP during seat sharing negotiations worked to his advantage. All these things worked to his advantage, and because of that, he could dismantle the dual leadership structure. In contrast, the other leader, Panir Selvam, how did he come across? In contrast, Mr. Panir Selvam came across as someone reluctant to fund party colleagues, one negative thing, deliberately maintaining ambiguity on Ms. Shashikala's position, second negative factor. Ambiguity, already we have got many a time, vague, not clear. Overtly, openly inclined to do the BJP's bidding, and extending cordiality to the DMK leaders. Deliberately means intentionally, on purpose, and overtly, openly, cordiality, friendly, in a friendly manner, in a warm and friendly way. So you can see the contrast, quite opposite. Came across as someone reluctant to fund party colleagues, no decentralization of resources, deliberately maintaining ambiguity, did not take a clear stand, unlike Palaniswamy, and he was overtly inclined to do the BJP's bidding and extending cordiality to the opposition, DMK party. Now they are in the power. Because of that, what happened? Many prominent leaders in the party who stood by him, who supported him during his Dharma Yudham against Miss Sasikala, feeling alienated, switched camps. He had a lot of leaders in the party supporting him, but many prominent leaders who stood by him, who supported him during his Dharma Yudham against Miss Sasikala, feeling alienated. Alienated means to get isolated. separated, feeling alienated, switched camps. That means they shifted to not Panir Selvam, but Palaniswami's camp. From Panir Selvam's camp, they shifted to Palaniswami's camp. Yet the transition means what? Change to unitary leadership from dual leadership. Now it has changed to unitary leadership, means only one party leader. Yet, contrasting information, the transition to unitary leadership has not been smooth in a party acclimatized to being headed by supremos since its founding in October 1972. This party was founded, that's an important word. Find, found, one verb. Founded, another verb. Founded, to establish. This party was established in October 1972. The transition, the change to unitary leadership from dual leadership has not been smooth. Obviously, it can't be smooth. In a party acclimatized means to get used to. Being herded, usually the word herd is a noun, group of animals, but here as a verb, led by supremos, the supreme leader of a particular party, since its founding in October 1972. A miserably outnumbered Mr. Panir Selvam made a futile bid. Outnumbered means many people did not support him. They went to the opposite camp. A miserably outnumbered Mr. Panir Selvam made a futile bid, futile, an important word, incapable of producing any useful result, or pointless, waste. Futile bid means attempt in this context. To retain status quo, this is an important expression. It goes with polity, means what? Same state is maintained, no change. The existing state of affairs, especially regarding social or political issues, no change, same situation. Status quo in the party, that means a dual leadership through courts, overriding the majority will of the General Council and earning a judicial reprimand. Reprimand, a formal expression of disapproval. We also use words like scold, chide, rebuke, all these. Coinciding with Mr. Palaniswami's coronation. Coronation usually goes with kings and queens, but in this context, becoming the party leader, the ceremony of crowning a sovereign or a sovereign's consort. Coinciding with Mr. Palaniswami's coronation, he forcibly entered the party headquarters amid violent clashes, leading to sealing of the premises. When Palaniswamy was being coronated, he forcibly entered the party headquarters. Obviously, that must have resulted in clashes. Amid violent clashes, leading to a sealing, leading to sealing of the premises. He has approached the Election Commission of India to nullify the General Council's decisions. From his end, his attempts to uh, make sure the status quo, that means the dual leadership, continues in the party. He has approached the Election Commission of India to nullify, an important word, make something null and void or invalid, the General Council's decisions. Apart from surmounting these legal challenges, surmount means overcome, in time to face the 2024 Lok Sabha election, the party's incumbent custodian has to do the balancing act in dealing with strong sub-regional satraps from the Gounder, Mukalathor, and Vaniyar communities. This talks about how Mr. Palaniswamy, how he has to handle or what challenges he's going to face. One is from Mr. Panir Selvam. Besides that, apart from surmounting these legal challenges, overcome, in time to face the 2024 Lok Sabha election, the party's incumbent in power, custodian, the party leader right now, Mr. Palaniswamy, has to do the balancing act in dealing with strong sub-regional satraps or leaders from the Gounder, Bukalathor, and Vaniyar communities. He has to deal with these community leaders very carefully. How does the editorial end? getting elected within 4 months as General Secretary by primary members with a broader segment of district secretaries endorsing his nomination as per the amended bylaw could help in Mr. Palaniswamy's quest for supremacy. He has to get the support. Getting elected within 4 months. Now he is interim secretary, but eventually has to get elected. Getting elected within 4 months, he has 4 months' time as general secretary by primary members with a broader segment of district secretaries endorsing his nomination. All these have to support as per the amended bylaw could help in Mr. Palaniswamy's quest for supremacy. Quest, a long and or arduous search for something. Mr. Selvan's best known credentials. Mr. Selvam is known for something. His best known credentials remain that of a dutiful loyalist of Jayalalitha. He was also the CM for some time. His credentials remain that of a dutiful loyalist of Jayalalitha. Mr. Selvam might try to seek political legitimacy through the legal route he has already initiated, but what will happen? But other than hampering the functioning of the AIADMK for a few 4 months, he might achieve little because the majority, all the party leaders, are with Mr. Palaniswamy. But other than hampering, hamper means to, no, this is not the meaning, to block, hamper, block, hurdle, hampering the functioning of AIADMK for a few more months, he might achieve little, he may not achieve anything. Any long term disruption, I'm sorry, I could not. Don't look at the meanings of these two words. Hamper, one meaning block or hinder, and disrupt, we have got so many times, interrupt. Any long term disruption in the party, which has ruled for a period of, for a record 31 years, may end up permanently altering the bipolar nature of politics in Tamil Nadu. Imagine he is going to disrupt any long term disruption in the party, which has ruled for a record 31 years, may end up permanently altering the bipolar nature of politics in Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu state, it is bipolar politics. Bi means two, bipolar, two parties. One is AIADMK, the other one is DMK. So any long term disruption may change this thing. Sure, sure, I will do that. Oh, really? It is a live session because based on your comments, I'm responding. Obviously, it is a live session. What is this editorial about? Now, let us go to comprehension based questions based on this editorial. Marching towards its golden jubilee, what has the AIADMK dumped? Keywords. What strategy did Mr. Palaniswamy adopt to fortify his party base? Who made a futile bid to retain status quo in the party? Any long term disruption in the party may end up in what? Long term disruption in the party may end up in something. In what? Important questions you should be able to answer. I have launched two courses. One is General English for SSC exams, all SSC exams, CHSL, CGL, MTS, and other SSC exams. I launched on 11th of this month, live and interactive classes, very useful for all SSC exams. And the course fee 2000, but there's a discount of 250, 1750. Time every morning 11:30 a.m. Validity 1 year, and medium of instruction English, only English. The other course, the most popular course, only for 1000 rupees for some time. This offer is going to be there, 50% off. Actual course fee 2000, now it is only 1000. English for bank exams. And if I have provided the link to the app. After the session, go to the description of the video and you can see the link. If you click on the link, you go to the app and you can purchase the course. Today I have brought 4 or 5 exam topics, so try to respond quickly. The first 5 go with error location. Please read the first one. All companies must send its annual report to its shareholders 21 days before the annual general body meeting. Where is the error? You have to read very carefully. Not a difficult question, easy to answer. How come no one has responded? No, there is not correct. Here, when you read a sentence, you have to read meticulously. No, no, no. You have the singular pronoun used two times. Then it cannot be. If you correct here, there, even here it should be there. There's only one error. Only one part you can touch. You cannot touch two parts. No, 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 no. It's an easy one. Yes, 8 o'clock sharp. What is the subject here? No, this is an easy one, but no one has got it right. That is really surprising. All companies or a company. What is the reason? If the subject is singular, only then you can use two times a singular pronoun and you have to touch only one part. You cannot touch two parts. There is an error in the very first part. Companies, then you have to use two times their annual report, no problem, singular. Their shareholders, you cannot correct two times, only one time. That means you have to touch the subject. A company must send its annual report to its shareholders 21 days before the annual general body meeting. Then it is perfect. Why? Its shareholders before the annual 21 days before. Nothing wrong with that. Its shareholders here send before 21 days. What is wrong with that? Nothing wrong. No one has got it right. That really surprises me. All of you remember, if the instruction, if you when you read the instruction or the direction and you see two errors, then you can go for there two times. But these are all, you have to spot only one error. Then you cannot touch there, here. If you touch here, you have to touch here. You cannot do that. So, a company, then everything is in place. His aim is provided cheap and reliable internet facilities to every village within 5 years. This is also an easy one. His aim is provided cheap. You don't have to go beyond that. Again, I don't see any response. His aim is provided or to provide? To provide. To provide. You have to use to. His aim is what? Your aim is what? To get selected. His aim is to provide cheap and reliable internet facilities to every village within 5 years. To provide. The head office has issued instructions that the performance of all zonal managers have to assess by a committee. This is also an easy one based on to what extent you're good at tenses. Besides tenses, to what extent you're good at active voice and passive voice. No. Has issued, it is in present perfect. Then you don't have to change the tense. The head office has issued instructions that the performance, here what is the subject for the second clause? The performance of all zonal managers. The performance have to assess or has to be assessed. Performance has to be assessed. Has to be assessed by a committee. Performance has to be assessed by a committee. Has to be assessed. It is in present perfect passive voice. You may think, no, it is in passive voice, but have to, has to. It's a helping verb. Helping verb in passive voice. What is the meaning of have to or has to? It is used to express an obligation imposed by an external authority or a situation. Here, external authority. They have to assess something. Something has to be assessed by them. Banks which do not meet its priority sector targets are required to pay high penalties. Banks which do not meet its priority sector targets are required to pay high penalties. Here we have banks plural verb. Based on that, you should be able to spot the error. Banks which do not meet, where is the error? Yes, banks which do not meet, its is not correct, their priority sector, their priority sector targets are required to pay high penalties. THEIR, their. Banks plural, so their. Good morning, rather late, but no problem. The Reserve Bank of India is the only central bank in Asia which have raised interest rates. This is also an easy one. Subject verb based agreement. The Reserve Bank of India, the RBI, is, good morning, the only central bank in Asia which, why do you say bank is living thing? What do you mean by that, Pavani? The Reserve Bank of India is only central bank in Asia which, excuse me, which has raised. Here we don't have to use past perfect, present perfect, which has raised interest rates. Has raised. Very good. So this question is also based on subject verb agreement. Now you have fillers, double fillers. The volcanoes first recorded was in 1500 BC and it believed to have erupted about 200 times since. Here it does not mean banks their priority. Plural noun, we use plural pronoun, whether living or non-living, that doesn't matter. It is not a rule that you have to use only with living things. Books, banks, institutes, organizations, companies. Companies have to submit their reports. No, you cannot think in terms of living, non-living, not relevant. Nothing wrong in asking the question. It was believed. Or it is here the volcano's first recorded eruption. Explosion, no. Explosion, not correct. Eruption, three places. Has believed, not correct. It was believed to have erupted 200 times since. The volcano's first recorded eruption, nothing wrong with that word, in 1500 BC, was in 1500 BC, and it was believed to have erupted about 200 times since. Why should we use past? It should be in present. It is believed to have. People believe that it has erupted 200 times since that time. It is not was, it is believed that, or it is believed to have erupted about 200 times since. We have to use a verb here in present. We believe in something. It is believed that. It is believed, a standard expression as well. For nearly a century, this is also about the same volcanic eruption. For nearly a century, see here, is believed, not was believed, is believed to have been very low. A flank eruption in 1755, easy to answer based on contextual awareness. Answer is the fourth option. For nearly a century, preceding or following. Precede means to come before. It should be following, not preceding. Following the 1669 eruption, Etna's output is believed to have been very low. Following, obviously. Not next, not later on, not sequential. A flank eruption in 1755, however, brought about several years of volcanic activity, including overflow of Java. Lava, it should be, not L, not J. Answer is the fourth option, right? The activities of money lenders could have an adverse impact on those access to bank credit. This is also based on contextual awareness. The activities of money lenders could have an adverse impact, negative impact on those who, not who denied access. You need the helping verb, so it is not correct. Encouraging, here we need a negative word. That way also it is not correct. Confining, no. Promoting, negative word, we need a negative word. Curbing, answer is the fifth option. No, no, no. Understand the context. Curbing means what? Restricting, curb, restrict, stop. Curbing the activities of money lenders could have an adverse impact on those who lack access to bank credit. Obviously, it has to be the fifth one. This is also an easy question, but no one has got it right. Except now I see one, Sairam, Suresh. Curbing. Money lenders, they give the money to those who don't have access to banks, obviously, usually. So, curbing the activities of money lenders could have an adverse impact on those who lack who don't have access to bank credit. Obviously, contextually, grammatically. Fifth option. Question number 4. A public servant who is guilty will not punishment and no person will be punished. Control, check, restrict, all these words. When you read the newspapers regularly, before you go to the options, you know which word goes into the blank. You will reach that stage. A public servant who is guilty will not escape punishment. The word escape has to pop up. And no innocent, that even that word has to pop up. You don't have to look at the options. Before you see the options, these words have to pop up. If you ask me, sir, is it possible? My answer, yes, it is possible, provided you read the newspapers regularly. Then it's an easy question. A public servant who is guilty will not escape punishment, and no innocent person will be punished. As simple as that. All these words cannot be. Flee means to run away, escape. Now we have phrase replacement, 5 questions. Many employees are hesitate to volunteer for assignments in a foreign country because of language and cultural issues. Beyond any doubt, that is the best source, especially bank exams. Even SSC also, reading the Hindu paper, you can improve your reading comprehension skill, your vocabulary, and consolidate your grammar knowledge. And also, you get exposed to effective English, idioms, phrases, standard phrases, prepositional combinations, so many advantages. Many employees are hesitate, no, hesitant. You have to use the word hesitant. It is based on word form. Many employees are hesitant. Are hesitated grammatically not correct? Not correct grammatically. Are hesitating? Perhaps you can consider. Volunteer. Hesitating volunteer not correct. Hesitatingly volunteer not correct. So many employees are hesitant to do what? To volunteer for assignments in a foreign country. Answer is the second option. Salaries in state-owned enterprises today have to be in line on prevailing market rates in order to reduce turnover. In line, again, a standard phrase. Before you go to options, you should be able to quickly eliminate and choose. What is a word or what is a preposition that goes with the standard phrase? In line, it takes a preposition with. How many options with? The word with, 2 options. Salaries in state-owned enterprises today have to be, been is not correct. Have to be in line with. Answer is the fourth option. An easy one, provided you read the newspapers regularly. As a member of the cabinet, Iyer had the opportunity to observe debates and see which they were resolved, and see what. Same meaning, word form is different. Hesitate is a verb, hesitant adjective. He always hesitates, have used as a verb. Hesitant newcomer, newcomer noun, hesitant person, hesitant student, adjective. Meaning wise, no difference whatsoever. When you want to master the language, especially English, you have to be very good at, especially exam point of view. This is what I tell my students. Word forms are very important. Quite often they ask questions based on word forms. Usually every word has a verb form, the noun form, the adjective form, adverbial form. These forms you should know, only then you can decide where the error is. Third one, and see how they were resolved, not which, not about their being resolved. Answer is the fourth option, obviously. The board has inability to provide any proper strategy to outdo the competition. This is also an easy one based on grammar knowledge. Fourth one. The board has inability to provide. We don't use the expression I have the inability or the board has inability. Not correct. The board not being able to, one word is missing, is not being able to, still it is not correct. Has been unable to provide. The board has been unable to provide any proper strategy. Hold that one. Cannot provide for any. For cannot be considered. Is being unable to provide? No. As I said, what is the answer here? The board has been unable to provide any proper strategy. Answer is the second option. The board has been unable to provide. Perfect. Contextually, grammatically. This is question number 5 again based on grammar knowledge. Did the court not intervene the matter, many students would have been denied admission. When you see would have been denied, would plus have plus verb past participle form, then you have to think of past conditional. Here it is in passive voice. Would have been denied. Then past conditional with if or without if. If you use if, then past perfect tense should be in affirmative form. If you don't use if, past perfect tense should be in interrogative form. Here, if the court intervened, it is not past perfect, so it is not correct. Because the court intervened, until the court, not correct. Without if, past perfect should be in interrogative. Based on that, had the court not intervened, answer is the third option. If the court had intervened, if the court hadn't intervened, affirmative. Without if, interrogative. Had the court not intervened, so answer is the third option. No, not the fourth option. This is an easy one. All of you remember any question based on grammar rule, an easy one. You should be able to answer, you can't afford to miss. Any question based on contextual awareness, there is some justification if you don't get it right. But after learning grammar, after learning, I don't know how many of you have learned 200 rules. After learning grammar, after learning 200 rules, any question based on grammar, you should be able to answer. If you don't answer, it cannot be justified. In my opinion, this is an easy question based on grammar knowledge, and you can't afford to miss it. Let us go to the last but one, idioms. Not that difficult. What time is it? We still have 6 minutes. Bells and whistles. I think we have got some of these attractive additional features. So, what is the answer? C. Anytime remember, contextual awareness is the most important thing you should have. Nowadays, especially. Whistle in the dark. Bell the cat. Easy ones. Clean as a whistle. Extremely clean, squeaky clean, clear, spotless. This is A. Bell the cat. Undertake or agree to perform a risky, dangerous, or impossible job or task. Let us go with B. Blow the whistle. Expose a wrongdoing in the hope of bringing it to halt. Answer is D. Be sure of a particular outcome when all evidence points to the contrary. A whistle in the dark. That means it may not happen. Have you got the correct order? Let us go to editorial vocabulary quickly. Try to answer. Mount. We don't have time for parts of speech. Answer. Look at the meanings. We have only 4 minutes. Mount. Organize or initiate a campaign or a course of action. Answer is H. Dump. To drop. One word. Exactly. C. Fledgling. Person or organization that is immature, new, lack of experience, all these you can think. Prudently, in a way that shows care and thought, more than care, thought, being wise. Dismantle, take to pieces. J. Fortify, provide with defensive work or make something strong. Position, the party base. Cede, give up, usually it goes with power or territory. B is the answer. Quest, long and arduous search for something. D. Cordiality, in a warm and friendly way. Steadfast, in a resolutely or dutifully firm, unwavering manner. I. I think you guys are with the fifth one. There's a lag, latency. How come no response after the fifth one? Someone has come to the ninth one. What happened? We still have these words. Uprising. Uprising means revolt. I'll do it quickly. You guys are not responding. Wrath means anger, severe anger. Precipitous, dangerously high or steep. Crescendo, the highest point. Boisterous, noisy. Ablaze, burn fiercely. Unbridled, without any control. Redound, bring something good for someone's stature. Mollify, appease. Or I don't know what happened. You guys are not responding. You're not responding. That's why I had to. I don't see the response, editorial vocabulary. And travails means putting in a lot of effort to struggle laboriously. I haven't seen your responses. Painful or laborious effort. So that's all for today. Thanks for being with me. Have a nice day. And from tomorrow, it is not at 7 a.m., it is at 8 a.m. Please make a note. Do remember to subscribe and share. After the session, go to the description of the video. You will have two links. One is related to a Telegram group, Murthy's English. The other one, app. When you click on that, you go to the app.